are you?
Awesome.
That's good. Can you give us your name and your age range, please?
I am Kimlyn Ladine Hammond Dawson. I'm 54. I'll be 55 in August.
Okay.
This August.
Marital status?
Very, very married.
Very married, huh?
Yeah.
Sexual preference?
Oh, heterosexual, 100%.
Age your cycle started?
The summer of 14 going on 15.
Wow.
I was 15, yeah.
And the name your mother gave the vagina?
TT.
TT.
Your TT. Gotta clean that TT. You got a TT. Yeah, it was TT was it.
TT.
For everybody.
Why TT?
I don't know. My mother didn't really like talking about sex, so I'm thinking that's like non-invasive, you know. Like TT was innocent. I think they wanted to maintain the innocence of all of the kids.
Okay.
Didn't want us to think about sex. TT. That was it.
Okay, TT we go. Did your mother or grandmother tell you anything about menopause?
Nope.
Nothing.
My mother didn't tell me about periods. I thought they lasted 30 days.
Oh, jeez.
Cosmopolitan magazine is where I learned everything. Seriously,
Oh
I died. I was like, I'm gonna bleed for 30 days. Nobody talked about it. It was like, if you talked about periods, you wanted to talk about sex. That means you want to be sexually active. And why are you talking about sex? So it was like, you couldn't talk about it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Can you define menopause?
Menopause. The scientific version, you're supposed to not have issues with getting pregnant when you have sex. Your period stops, and you become this evil, can I say certain words?
Say whatever
This
you
evil
want.
bitch that's like everybody hates, but we understand because you're going through the change.
Okay.
So that's what they say menopause
That's
is.
what medical, but what's
Yeah,
Kimlyn's
I think it's
definition?
subconscious. Basically, I'm boycotting it. I've always said that I would boycott it. I'm gonna still climb trees, do cartwheels, and I'm not gonna do that menopause thing. It's like you die after menopause. It's like you're on the way out, and I'm not doing that. I'm boycotting menopause and all the symptoms that I'm realizing are coming because I'm experiencing things. But I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or if it's that menopause. Because the media is basically convincing me that this thing I should be experiencing is going to come. And I feel like subliminally I let it come because I'm thinking about it all the time, and they're brainwashing me. So I'm not with menopause right now, basically.
Okay.
The truth.
Did a doctor need to tell you that you were going
No.
through? No.
Nope.
You just knew?
Okay. So this past January, I thought I was pregnant. I was stressing out. I was going crazy because my husband is a menopause baby. His mom had him at like 52 when she was going through menopause. So I'm thinking it's hereditary on his side of the family. So I've always had a period, and I've never had any issues. That it's never been a problem. So when I didn't have one, it was like, okay, I'm 2 weeks late. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna be pregnant at the same time my daughter's pregnant. It was just horrible. I was crying. I was like telling my husband, I'm like, you need to sit down. I think I'm pregnant. He says, you're not pregnant. I said, I gotta be pregnant. I can't have another baby at 50. It was just horrible. And then it didn't happen the next month. And then I'm like, okay, but I'm having symptoms. Maybe I'm 2 months pregnant. Should I take a pregnancy? It was just crazy. I was going through this pregnancy thing. It wasn't menopause that was on my mind. It was I'm pregnant because it felt like I was breast getting tender and, you know, I'm angry a little bit. And I'm never associating it with menopause because I'm boycotting menopause. So it's a lot of confusion going on.
So you never went out and bought a pregnancy test to figure it out?
No, because then I went another month, and it started in January. So now here it is, July, and I still haven't had one. And so I think it's happening. I think it's...
So pregnancy is definitely out the window.
I don't know. I'm still scared. My husband still uses condoms. It's like, can I say? My husband still uses condoms because I'm afraid. Because I don't know how this thing works. Nobody's ever talked to me about it. What I read is marketing, so I'm on the fence with a lot of it, and it's very confusing. So I don't know. Hopefully I'm not pregnant, because sometimes I wonder, because I don't know what those symptoms are supposed to be.
Yeah, this is
Everybody's different. So I don't know if they're big because I'm pregnant and I'm scared to go get a test because I might be pregnant. 55 and pregnant. I was 40 and pregnant. It's not a good thing. It's just not cute. So, yeah. Menopause, yeah.
So, can you describe a hot flash? Have you experienced it?
Now that's a hard one. Okay, so I'm calling it a hot flash.
Okay.
I don't have them very often, but the other day I'm just walking around my office and then all of a sudden water just starts pouring out of my arms, just like bubbles, like not bubbles but little water, like sweat, but it was little balls, and it felt like a woo woo from the inside out.
Like a generator?
Like a heated generator, like woo woo woo. Oh. And it just, and then you wipe it off, and I'm like, okay, that's what that was, and that's what I think.
Last long?
No, it just wets me really quick around here and on my arms, and I feel it coming out. It's like, dang, I'm dripping shiny water, and then it stops, and then I just go about my day, and I don't claim it as menopause. I'm boycotting menopause.
Boycotting this.
Yeah.
Okay. What has been your, other than that, any other biological reactions that you had other than like breastfeeding?
Okay, that confusing thing about me associating everything with menopause and age. Because see, I'm looking it up now. I never thought about it until I talked to my girlfriend about menopause. And she says, oh yeah, this is what's happening to me, but I had a hysterectomy, so I don't have those. I'm like, okay, well, so you can't help me. Yeah. So I'm looking online and I'm like, okay, my feet are hurting. Is it because of my age? Or is it because of menopause? And then I said, okay, I got to fight this menopause thing. So right now, it's a sweating thing. Like I sweat in like creases. I'm like, who the hell? What is this? Like the creases, you know, your panty lines, right? And it sweats. I'm like, is it because I'm active? Is it because it's not because it's hot, but I'm sweaty, and that's not nice. It's just horrible. So that's one thing. And then the sleeping. I'm not sleeping, but then I never sleep, so I don't know if I should associate it with that. You know what I mean? Like I stay up all night working, and now I really don't go to sleep. I don't know if it's because I don't want to have sex or if it's just because of, no, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because when look, I'm thinking.
Did you just say you don't know if you're not going to sleep?
Is my husband going to see this?
You don't want to have sex. Is that what you literally just said?
Because sometimes you stay up because you don't want to go to sleep because then your husband will, bother you, kind of thing.
Oh, so you don't get to sleep.
So you don't go to sleep.
Got you.
You wait till he goes to sleep, but if he goes to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're up until 3 o'clock in the morning. So you find things to do. Anyway.
Sound like Wile E. Coyote.
I should be happy that my husband is still attracted to me. So
this is true.
So, but yeah. Yeah, so that, just that and me worrying about being pregnant, I got to figure out that one because I'm worried. I really am.
Yeah.
And then I read that maybe your breasts do get bigger.
Oh, okay.
It's not something I need right now. So I don't want it to be pregnancy, but
Okay. How have your relationships with others changed? Like with your work, with your spouse, with your children? Any changes?
I'm staying up late and I'm adding more projects. And I'm all over the board. I'm like, I can't concentrate. And it's like, okay, I have to find something to do. I'll start sewing something and then I'll start doodling, making a banner. It's just like adding projects. And then my husband is calling me from the other room, baby, I thought we weren't going to do that anymore. I thought we were going to start going to bed early. And I'm like, I'm coming. And then I start something else, and then it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Then it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Then I go to sleep, and he still knocks on my door. So I don't know if it's a menopause thing or if it's I don't know. But anyway, so the main problems that I don't think it's a problem. My attitude, I'm more vocal. I'm not as pleasing. I used to try to please everybody and make everybody happy. Now I'm like, I don't care. Don't dump. Don't call me. I'm really telling people what I feel when I don't have the intention to. Like I really want to make everybody happy, but I end up saying exactly how I feel. And I don't get as many calls anymore. People don't call me anymore. People are not dumping anymore. So that's a good thing.
Okay, so now with that, So everything else you think is either menopause or your age. Do you think that has to do with your age? Or do you think it has to do with menopause?
That's why I'm confused, because does menopause, is that a part of menopause? I mean, are you supposed to get this, are you supposed to be like aggressive and like, I'm 50 now, I could say no kind of thing? Or do you just, how do you correlate? I don't know if it's age or if it's menopause, or is menopause age? I got a million questions, and I couldn't ask my mom. I don't have any friends to ask because all of them after 30 had hysterectomies, so they didn't have periods. My period was a non-issue. It didn't even bother me. So it's like, it's not that. It's not like I miss it because it's like it wasn't around long. You know, 3 days tops, I'm good. So it's not, it didn't stop anything. So all of these things that I read about menopause, they're not happening to me. I don't know what to say. It's confusing.
I gotta turn my phone off.
You didn't turn your phone off.
I ran to the bathroom.
Okay.
So that was more important. Okay. So how do you feel society regards menopause? Do you think it's a joke, or do you think they take it?
I think it's a huge marketing ploy. I think they're trying to put the baby boomers in the grave. They're trying to sell us stuff, and they're manipulating us to believe these things. But then there are those hormones that are doing some things. So it's confusing. And again, everybody's symptoms are different. So I can't ask anyone. There's no one person that can tell me why. Okay, prime example. I called my friend in San Francisco because I was having this like gush. It's like water. It's like, it's not urine, but it's like this big gush of liquid.
Out of your...
Yeah. So you run to the restroom thinking, oh my God, my period started. But it wasn't. It was this clear liquid. And I'm like, dude, what is this?
Right?
No, I don't know what is this, like this gush of water, but it wasn't urine. So I'm like, okay, this is when I started asking myself about menopause.
Okay.
So I called my friend, and I didn't know how to phrase it because she had a hysterectomy because of fibroids. So she doesn't have, but she did tell me what that was. So she told me it happened to her. She called it a flush. So then I went online and I looked it up, and all they said was, enjoy the moisture while you can. Sex should be great. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
So you get ready for a drought.
but listen, all of the things that I did read said that there's dryness, sex is painful. And I'm like, I ain't dry. This is some real wet, it's too wet kind of thing. And my husband's like, I love it. You should complain about this. This is great. I'm just saying, but everything is like, you look it up and everybody's saying it's great. But then there's that spectrum right between the ad that tells you how to do this buy this menopause stuff for pounding, what it's called, but it's some chemical that's supposed to make it easier for you to have sex because you're so dry, and it's dry and painful. And I'm like, I can't even imagine dry. But those gushes, they happened like 3 or 4 times. I haven't had it again. Okay. But again, I thought it was my period coming, so that took me for a loop. Okay. What was the other question?
That was it.
Oh, okay.
How has your sexual intercourse changed?
It hasn't. It hasn't.
Oh my God.
I'm hiding from my husband. He chases me. I turn the water on in the bathroom to clean the tub, and he's like, ding, Carly. I thought you were calling me. It's like, no, I was just cleaning the tub. Yeah, that's like, but I appreciate it because I started thinking about my mom. Now, my mom she loved sex. And my mom was only 14 years older than I am. Okay. So my dad, he was taking a lot of medication, like diet, whatever, and he couldn't
explore.
Yeah. Body. And my mom, that made her angry. It gave her high anxiety, and I'm thinking this is menopause, but it was a combination of lack of sex, because women that age still want to have sex. And she wasn't getting it. So then I started thinking, maybe my husband might change. I need to appreciate this while it lasts. And I never thought about that before. I was usually hiding and running and stuff like that. But so nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. I'm trying to appreciate it and, love it.
Okay. What role does Viagra play, if any?
Viagra. We don't need Viagra. If I gave my husband Viagra, I wouldn't get any sleep. No, he's good. We don't. Watermelon. We don't need Viagra. Watermelon is, oh my God.
Everybody watermelon.
Watermelon. No, you don't understand. Watermelon. Look it up. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Seriously. No, we don't need that. No.
Oh my gosh, I have tears. You are a mess. Have you figured out any truths about yourself since you're going through this change?
I feel like psychologically that if I go with what I decided and not believe the hype, I can manage it.
Okay.
Because I think everything is psychological. It's like if I start thinking, oh, I'm going to get sick, oh, I'm going to get old, oh, I'm going to start dying, I'm not going to want to climb a tree. I'm not going to want to do a cartwheel. I'm just going to start feeling like, okay, all of these ads geared towards the boomers are for me. Okay. Like when you get your cancer and when your diabetes acts up, I'm like, when you get your, I'm not going to get cancer. I'm not going to get the diabetes. I'm not going to do all of that. But they gear those ads for me. So when I see the menopause ads, when I don't even want to read Oprah anymore. The menopause ads are just like all over the page. I'm like, dude, I'm not getting it. So I'm working with it because if I think about what's happening to me on an individual basis, like, okay, I didn't eat right, so that was why I did that. Okay. I drank coffee at 2 in the morning, so that's why I was sweating when I was in bed. You know, if I change my diet, I won't experience some of those things. Now, I know there are hormonal issues because I went to a doctor about my skin, and he says, oh, it's onset menopause. I'm like, oh, really? How can you tell? Because I'm a certain age, you just assume that it's onset menopause. I don't even know when my mother lost her period. I don't know when it happened. Yeah. So how do I know when it happens in our family? There's no tradition. I just remember when we go into her bathroom, we steal stuff out of her cabinets. And when she was 53, there were still tampons in the cabinet. When she was 60, there weren't. Okay. But we still didn't talk about it. Yeah. But she still had stuff. So I don't know if she was saying it was, I don't know what was going on, but they never, but
saying it was there and that wasn't happening.
But what I do remember is about the sex thing with my mother. My mother was 65, 63, and we were talking about vibrators. So that's the closest to menopause we talked. We talked about, she finally realized that, oh yeah, I use the da-da-da. I'm like, what do you mean you use the da-da-da-da? And I'm like, oh, you mean this? Oh, and then we all started joking, me, my sister, and my mother,
Girl,
talking
you
about
talked about a vibrator with your mama.
Yes, that was the part. That was the part, right? But we never talked about menopause. One time I mentioned, and she says, girl, I'm not getting no menopause. And
she boycotted it too.
We boycotted menopause.
Okay. So it's hereditary, it seems.
I think so. The boycotting part.
But talking about a vibrator was cool.
It wasn't, but it was so fun. It was like she let go because she was angry at him for not, you know. Yeah. And she said, well, hell, what do you expect me to do?
She's human.
Exactly.
She was human. What was the saddest realization that you've had or have encountered since you're going through menopause?
The not being able to sleep. Okay. The discomfort with the weight gain, because I have gained weight. I haven't changed my eating. I haven't eaten more. I eat less. And then I try to compensate with sleep. Maybe I'm sleep deprived. And when you're sleep deprived, you gain about 8 pounds per quarter. I started doing that thing. And then I'm like, okay, what's menopause shit? I'm getting fat because I'm getting older. This is what happens. So I haven't talked to anybody. I'm just going by what I read, trying to decipher through the marketing part. Yeah. Because the marketing everywhere is telling you what to expect when you don't have to have it. You know what I mean? So it's just really confusing. That's just the biggest thing. That's my problem. It's confusing. And I don't have anybody to ask because everybody's trying to sell something. Yeah. So that's the biggest dilemma. Okay. Okay.
Didn't do anything, I promise.
Okay.
If your husband or any man in America or in the country had to have or go through menopause, what do you think would be different with the situation?
They would acknowledge it exists, first of all, because right now my husband's like, it's not menopause, it's just your mind, baby, you just know to eat right, you got to get some sleep. He doesn't claim that there's an issue with PMS or menopause. I know it's real, but if you just change your diet and eat right and sleep, you won't have those problems, which is true as far as I'm concerned. But they couldn't handle it.
Why not?
Because I think they do go through menopause. They go through that change. They go through, I've seen it, like 40, 45, they start getting Harleys, locking up the hair, wearing jeans. I know you saw it before. This is what they do. I don't know what we do, but I see what they do. So if my husband starts wearing skinny jeans and motorcycle jackets and starting to hang out with Harley dudes, then I know he's going through something. But as far as the pain and all that, I can't really put a label on it because I'm still confused about what I'm going through. We talked about our feet, like the collagen in my feet, it's gone. My feet are flat. There's no meat anymore. And I just realized that like this fat, people get collagen injections in their feet, older people. Never knew about that until I was looking up the menopause stuff. So, yeah, my feet don't have fat anymore.
That's interesting.
Pay attention to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm.
But that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I
came to the agreement. I'm a boycott.
You got to, yeah. Survival.
So since you started this cycle and change in life, have you started celebrating menopause coming?
I think the celebration part that I'm familiar with is that sex is supposed to be greater because you don't have to worry about getting pregnant.
Okay.
But then I have that history in the back of my head that his mom got pregnant at 50 something, and I'm like terrified. Every 10 years I had a baby, so it's like it's almost that 10-year time going around, and I'm like, I don't know. And then people say, oh, it might come back, your period might come back. So I figure if it comes back, there's a chance that I could get pregnant. So that's my greatest fear of pregnancy and this whole menopause thing. Other than that, that's the only issue. I don't have any other issues besides fear of pregnancy. Because sex has always been, it's great. It's not, it hasn't changed since, the beginning. But that's, I
just don't want no babies.
I don't want any more babies. I don't even want any more grandkids. I'm just like, seriously.
So you have children, you have your 2 daughters, and you have your son. And going through this change and going through menopause, have you talked to your girls or to your son?
Yes, they love it. They love that I'm telling people exactly how I feel. The squishing, all those kind of things they wouldn't relate to, so I don't talk about it. But my 26-year-old, we're talking about things that I didn't tell her about being married and being sexual with her husband. So I'm like, I thought I told you about that, to do the sexy walk and to do the crawling on the floor thing and the
sexy walk and crawling.
Because she.
Check.
Yeah, so we're talking about that. We're not talking about menopause. The thing that she knows about menopause is that we're boycotting it and that we're all different and that we need to change our diets, be who we are, be authentically ourselves. And the menopause thing is just, it's age. Hormonal things happen with age. So again, that confusing part, I can't really put my finger on the whole menopause thing. And I think that's what this is about. It's like everybody needs to share so we can kind of understand because everybody's different. Like, I don't believe that cancer is hereditary because I didn't eat the way my mom ate. Diabetes, we didn't do things the same way. I never wore perfume or lotions. She did, so you have to take a lot of things into consideration. And I think as far as menopause is concerned, you have to do the same thing there.
How about your son?
My son's been in the medical field for 18 years. So we talk about everything. We talk about venereal diseases, things I never heard of. And the menopause thing, he's happy that I'm telling people exactly how I feel. I'm not holding back. No is the new no. I mean, it's just like, no is a great word for menopause for me. If I say menopause is great, it's the no factor. Because I'm saying no, and I don't care who cares. I'm like, okay. Because before I'm like, no, I can't do it. But I could probably do it. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But now I'm like, nope. Delete. Block. Nope.
Do you blame any of your behaviors on menopause?
I think I'm doing some hot stuff going on right now. Yeah.
Listen.
That's crazy. See, it's psychological. I think it's, I don't know.
Do you blame any of your behaviors on menopause? So say you in the grocery store and the cashier take forever. You say, hey man, hurry up. You know what? I'm having a hot flash here.
No. I'm happy. People love me everywhere I go. I don't have those kind of anger issues. I don't have anger issues. I have sleep issues and taking on too much and not organizing my life. I want to do everything, and then I have this thing about the millennials. Forgive me, millennials, but you guys are trying to put us in the grave. I'm fighting I'm fighting for you guys. We gave you guys the internet, and you want to put us in our graves. So that's the only thing I fight for. Like, as far as menopause is concerned, you know, you guys are hard on us, on our boomers. Yeah, but I think that they need, my biggest pet peeve is the marketing to us that we're dying, that it's over for us. Shoot, 50 is a new 30. What's up, man? It's like, come on. I had more sex than they. I'm just kidding. You are not right. Seriously. It's true. Right. I know. Right. And I'll stay young as long as I feel young. As long as I can turn a cartwheel, climb a tree, I'm good. Yes. But when I have to turn my whole body to look around, something ain't right. We gotta work that out. Yes. Yoga, something. Something. No, not in front of my husband. Downward dog. No, that'll be a clue. He'll be like, I thought you were calling me. Nah, I'm safe. I know what I can do and what I can't do when he's around. Okay. Yes. All right. Let's not do downward dog. No. Even though your grandmother really didn't talk to you about menopause, was there ever a time where you just looked at your mom or your grandmother and you're doing something, you're like, you know, we're girls. Yeah, that vibrator talk we did. That was awesome. It was like, you know, I wonder if my mother would get high with me right now. It's like, she's so cool right now because she's like letting all that crazy stuff go. You can't control everything. Yeah. And I think what my mom was doing, she was kind of control everybody because her life was out of control, her sexual life, and that has a lot to do with a lot. I think that when women go through menopause, they're sexual, but their husbands are not. Okay. And if they are, it's painful for some. And it just depends. There's so many variables. Because like my girlfriend that had the hysterectomy, pain, fibroids, all her life, sex was painful. I couldn't relate to all that. Yeah. So it's like everybody's menopause is different. But it is a hormonal thing. I do believe that. But yeah, if I answered that question. Yes. All right. If there was one message that you could give to the ladies of the world, us millennials, men, anyone, everybody, what would you like for them to do? Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the ads because I'm a marketing person and I read right through it. Everybody's selling you something. Be you. During menopause, during the change, because you're going to change when you turn 30. Like big change, like the shades are lifted off of your eyes. You're going to be like, dang, really? Oh, I'm not dealing with that anymore. He's out. You dump people really quick, you know. I'm just saying, be authentically you. Be yourself. Do what you love, and don't make any apologies for it. And if I can associate that to menopause, then so be it. Just be you. Right. Do you. Be you. Yes. Be calm and be. That's right. Awesome. That's right. That's right. That was it.